offspring of wild animals can sometimes be very surprising in their appearance. Take a look at these little ones. Can you determine what species they belong to? Tiny, cute predators. Born the size of a grape, they grow so quickly and powerfully that you won't even have time to blink before you find yourself their prey. Curious to find out who we are talking about? Then watch our video until the end. Enjoy! Let's start with a fairly unpredictable option. Let's talk about one of the most powerful imposing animals. It has thick fur that can vary from white to black, depending on its habitat. It has a majestic gait, powerful paws. This creature is a true ruler of forests and tundras. Recognize who we are talking about? Of course, the bear. That might sound like a harsh description, but look how cute the offspring of this beast are. Round ears, a curious gaze, just like toys. They even look a bit like kittens. The cubs are born during the winter, during the mother's hibernation right in the den. At birth, they're extremely small, blind and deaf, weighing only a few ounces, and almost hairless. For the first few months of their lives, bear cubs don't leave their cozy and safe home. They feed on their mother's milk, quickly gaining weight and strength, becoming ready to leave the den and explore the world around them. For the first 2 years of life, the mother bear teaches her cubs how to find food, climb trees, avoid dangers. In short, everything necessary for independent life. Bear cubs go through a complex and interesting growth and development process before adapting to independent existence in the wild. Keep in mind, the ruler of forests and tundras is unpredictable. You're better off never meeting it face to face. Bears are omnivorous and dangerous to humans. For example, not long ago, young people living in Yakutia fell victim to this formidable predator. There, a bear broke into a gas processing plant and immediately attacked the workers. Unfortunately, there were injuries. The bear had to be repelled with fire extinguishers and a vehicle, which didn't really help actually. The bear left only when it got bored of playing with the people. And now, I'll show you real kittens. Oops, wrong, here. Soft, fluffy, light brown fur, wide open, curious eyes. Little ears reacting to every sound. A cute pink nose, the epitome of innocence and defenselessness. And this, by the way, is the future king of beasts. Lion cubs are born blind, and their eyes open about a week after birth. In the first few weeks, they're completely dependent on their mother who feeds them her milk. During this period, the cubs spend most of their time sleeping or eating. Honestly, I wouldn't mind being a lion cub for a bit. But as soon as the cubs become more active, they start playing with each other, which is an important part of their social and physical development. Play helps them develop coordination, strength, and skills needed for hunting and survival. In general, play is important for the development of many young animals, especially mammals and birds. Through play, the young learn important aspects of growing up. At about 3 months old, the cubs gradually start to eat solid food. They eat meat brought by adult members of the pride. By the age of 6 months, they start to accompany adults on hunts independently. By the age of 1, a lion cub becomes quite large and from this point becomes an active member of the pride's life. Well, I think you've probably seen lion cubs and bear cubs before. Still, I want to surprise you with something. How about these little ones? Do you know whose offspring are these? Here's a hint. You'll probably see this bird every day unless you live in Antarctica. After all, it inhabits almost all continents of our planet. Africa, Eurasia, North and South America, Australia, and even the Arctic. This little one can adapt to various conditions, including extreme ones. Alright, I won't keep you in suspense any longer. This is a pigeon chick. Pigeons hatch from eggs, blind and helpless with very little or no feathers. They're completely dependent on their parents, who feed them pigeon milk, a unique nutritious substance produced in the throats of both parents. In the first few days, the chicks grow very fast. Their feathers start to develop just a few days after hatching, and they quickly transition from being fed pigeon milk to more solid food brought by their parents. It takes only about a few months before pigeon chicks become fully independent, learn to fly, and acquire the familiar plump appearance. Why have you never seen pigeon chicks? There are so many of these birds in our streets. The thing is, they tend to live and build nests in hard-to-reach places. Somewhere high up, for example in voids under roofs, empty attics, abandoned buildings. It's quite difficult for humans to find pigeon nests, and that's probably why you've never encountered them. Oh, look, a lizard! How funny! Wait a minute, that's not a lizard. Those are some scary teeth and a strange color. Could it be a crocodile? So small? Yes, indeed. Depending on the species, the size of baby crocodiles can vary from 5 to 10 inches, while the length of an adult can reach more than 20 to 25 feet. But let's take it step by step. First, the female crocodile lays eggs, usually in a sandy or muddy burrow that she has dug. The number of eggs can vary depending on the species, but usually there are 20 to 60. The eggs are incubated for about 2 to 3 months. An interesting fact, the incubation temperature can determine the gender of the offspring. Higher temperatures usually result in the birth of males and lower ones, females. Upon hatching, crocodile hatchlings use a special tooth called the egg tooth to break through the shell. This tooth disappears shortly after birth. The female crocodile cares for her newborns, helping them out of the nest and carrying them to the water in her mouth. The mother stays with the young, protecting them from predators. Meanwhile, baby crocodiles are practically independent from birth. They have excellent hunting instincts, catching insects, frogs, fish, and small animals. Nevertheless, they prefer to stay close to their mother for several years. What do you know about hippos? I recently learned that hippos have no natural enemies in the wild. Even lions don't dare attack them. These animals possess monstrous strength, incredible physical endurance, and a keen mind. The main weapon of hippos is their tusks. Tusks grow throughout their lives and can reach more than half a meter in length. Combined with their immense strength, this weapon becomes lethal. In a rage, a hippo can even bisect a Nile crocodile. Can you picture this fierce beast? And now look at its offspring. Just tiny. Newborn hippos weigh only 25 to 50 kilograms, which seems small compared to adult specimens weighing up to 3 tons. The babies look particularly cute with their little ears, big eyes, and short, thick legs. From birth, baby hippos can swim and even feed underwater. They grow quickly, feeding on their mother's milk and start trying solid food after a few months. Young hippos stay with their mother for several years, helping them survive in a challenging environment. Some parallels can be drawn between the upbringing of a hippo and a crocodile. In fact, hippos share their habitat with crocodiles, and that's why the most frequent clashes for hippos occur with these reptiles. But the hippo's worst enemy is the human. Hippos are hunted for their valuable tusks. Therefore, due to human actions along with habitat loss and climate change, the International Union for Conservation of Nature has classified hippos as a vulnerable species. This means they are at a risk of extinction. Now, let's talk about puppies. You've seen dog puppies many times, I think. So, I want to tell you about them right now. What other kind of puppies could there be, you ask? Baby skunks are also called puppies. In fact, society has not decided whether they're puppies, skunklings, skunk babies, or skunkets. So I'll use different terms. Baby skunks are born blind and defenseless. Their small size and fluffy fur make them particularly cute. They have the same characteristic stripes or spots as adult individuals, although their coloring may be less pronounced. Skunk puppies are completely dependent on their mother for the first few weeks of life, as they only start to open their eyes and explore the world around them 3 weeks after birth. By the way, at the same time, they acquire that famous ability to emit a strong-smelling liquid that deters predators. So, if you really want to pet a skunk but are afraid of the unpleasant aroma, it is advisable to do so in the first few weeks of the puppy's life. These little ones, like puppies, are also vulnerable in the first days of their lives, even though they possess powerful weapons in adulthood. I'm talking about hedgehog babies and their quills. Few know that hedgehog babies are born with soft quills that harden later. This is necessary to avoid harming the mother during birth. Hedgehog quills, although not used for attack, are an effective means of protection against predators. Therefore, baby hedgehogs are entirely dependent on their mother, who protects them from trouble. But just look at this cuteness. Their small size and round shapes make these little ones simply adorable. Like many young animals, baby hedgehogs are curious and playful, making their behavior amusing and attractive to watch. By the way, adult hedgehogs also look quite cute. Did you know that they eat not mushrooms and berries, but a variety of food including meat, insects, snails, small rodents, frogs, and even snakes? They can also consume carrion and bird eggs. Hedgehogs can be dangerous to humans as they are often carriers of rabies. Better not to touch these cute animals. Let them do their hedgehog business, and you do yours. And these amazing creatures are famous for their slow lifestyle. They spend most of their time hanging upside down in trees, moving so slowly that algae even grow in their fur. They rarely descend to the ground, mainly to relieve themselves once a week. These are, of course, sloths. I think you've all heard of them. But have you seen what the offspring of these animals look like? Look, big eyes, a sweet smile, tiny paws, the epitome of tenderness and charm. Baby sloths are born in trays. After birth, the baby clings tightly to the mother's fur and stays with her for about 6 months. During this period, the mother teaches the baby important survival skills, including food selection and tray movement. Interestingly, sloths are not actually that lazy. Their slow movements are an adaptation to life in trees and a way to conserve energy under limited nutrition, which mainly consists of leaves with low nutritional value. The digestive system of sloths is so slow that digesting food can take a whole month. Can you imagine? Okay, in reality, a sloth is very dangerous. Comments on this video are superfluous. These adorable little ones are born in harsh, icy regions wrapped in fluffy white fur, which helps them retain heat in extreme weather conditions. From the first days of life, they have an amazing ability to swim, but they spend most of their time on land and ice. I'm talking about seal pups or baby seals. They're born tiny, but in just a few weeks they can double their weight, thanks to their mother's milk, which is rich in nutrients and promotes rapid growth. The interaction between the mother and the seal pup is so close and tender. See for yourself. The mother often calls her offspring with unique sounds, and the pup responds to her. This helps them maintain a connection among the vast and often overcrowded colonies. As seals mature, their baby fur is replaced by another, more adapted to the aquatic environment. The youngsters begin to learn to hunt and independently explore the environment. Although they may stay near their mother for the first year of life or even longer, depending on the species. Let's finally move on to the animal mentioned at the beginning of the video. Look at this little one. Can it really grow into a dangerous predator? This is a kangaroo joy. Kangaroos are marsupials. This means they carry their offspring in a special pouch, the marsupium, located on the mother's abdomen. You've definitely heard this amazing fact, but did you know how small kangaroo joeys are born? Otter develop tiny lumps that will stay in the mother's pouch for many more months, growing and developing there. The size of these little ones, of course, contrasts with the size of adult specimens, especially such as the red kangaroo, the largest marsupial in the world. Its height can reach a full 10 feet. Adult kangaroos are quite formidable animals, possessing immense strength and the ability to make fast and powerful jumps. Look at this fighter! So many muscles! Of course, I slightly misled you by saying that kangaroos are predators. They are herbivores that mainly feed on various types of leaves. But I think you wouldn't want to meet a kangaroo in the wild. They can be very dangerous to humans. Mostly, victims only suffer injuries, and the last fatal case from an attack by a marsupial was recorded way back in 1936. But Australian residents, for example, prefer not to leave their homes or go out armed with sticks and other objects if they see such an uninvited guest nearby. But the offspring of these marsupials are the complete opposite of adult individuals. They're defenseless and simply adorable. In the first few months of life, they're almost entirely dependent on the mother's pouch, but gradually begin to explore the world outside. At first, they just peek out, then gradually start to leave the pouch for short periods of time. Soft fur, large curious eyes, incredibly cute. Even in the world of dangerous wildlife, there is a place for cute and innocent creatures. That's all for me, thanks for watching.